Diane Lincoln, and I've always liked art. I appreciated art wherever I could find it, but I spent my life teaching science and mathematics, and I never thought that I would ever create anything artistically until my sister's birthday party, when we had one of those wine and paint things, and I was uncomfortable with a brush in my hand, but just decided to have a good time. I thought, what would happen if I dip 2 different colors at once, or if I make little circles? And that was the beginning. Ever since then, every spare minute that I have, I'm taking classes or reading books, watching YouTube videos, or buying painting supplies at Michael's or other locations. I've been a fan of a lot of people on YouTube, and 2 months after my sister's birthday, I had created all of those paintings you see here. And it's not the number of paintings that's really exciting, it's the joy that each one brought me. I remember walking around, showing anybody who would watch, look, there are trees coming out of my brush. And my house looks different too. I have original paintings in every room, including the laundry room. And I have one room that's specifically filled with paint supplies and old paintings. But that's just a small thing. The real thing is that I see the world differently. I can only compare it to when I was young and I got my first pair of glasses. I mean, and imagine I was 50 years old and I was seeing things again for the very first time in a brand new way. I saw how light makes things look 3-dimensional if you put it on a 2-dimensional canvas, the different colors. I watched now reflections and how reflections look different than the original thing that it's reflecting. I look at folds in material. I also learned to look at perspective. That first painting on the top there, that was one of the first ones I did with perspective, and you could tell it's kind of, it lacks a lot, you know? And then the second one I did later. And then most recently, I did the one that was on the right with the flags. But I also like to do abstract paintings. I like to do, use color and create things that wouldn't exist in nature. I made so many abstract paintings, I didn't know what to do with them all. I would paint over them and put something else on top. And then one day my husband said, don't paint over that, that's really good. And it just so happened to be at the same time that St. Charles had a call out for artists. So we sent St. Charles a bunch of pictures of my paintings, and they accepted 2 of them for a next pop-up gallery. I mean, look at me in that picture. I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. It's like, who is this? What's happening? My whole life changed. Everything. And that was only the beginning of that, too. Now, I've had paintings several times in St. Charles, at Water Street Art Galleries, and even at Fermilab. That picture of the bison that you see in the bottom there, that is now on permanent display at the User Center at Fermilab. So then, one day, I'm sitting right down the street at Limestone Coffee and Tea, and I noticed that they're selling paintings. So I talked to the lady there. I'm like, how do I do this? She gave me a contract to sign, and she said, well, they get a certain percentage. That's fine. I mean, what am I going to do other than paint over them? And I sold all of those at Limestone. And you'll see that some of them, I've even graduated from the brush. Some of them are poured. One of them I painted with a knife. One of them I just used a sponge on those flowers. And I've sold some on the internet as well. The one in the top left there, that's called Taxi in the Rain. And an elderly gentleman bought it because he said that a taxi in the rain played a big part in his first date with his wife. So, yeah. And I've had 4 magazine covers. Now, the truth be told, my husband writes the articles for this magazine. But I didn't expect to be on the cover, right? So, and I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that I've met so many fantastic, creative people in this process too. I meet them in the classes I take and at the galleries. The social experience is more than I would have imagined. And I'm able to give people gifts. The big one on the right top is in my daughter's first apartment, and the beach scene I gave to another artist. The one on the bottom with the rocks that I gave to a poet who moved to the Southwest. And currently, I am trying to illustrate a children's book that my sister wrote. I have no idea where this is going to lead. People are hard to draw, but you don't have to be perfect when it's an illustration. So the point of all of this is, if you have the opportunity to learn how to juggle or play the harmonica or just do magic tricks, absolutely anything, try it. It could change your life.
Thanks, Diane. You had some of my favorite places up there.